Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I have to sit there and say that I was very impressed with this episode. And I haven't felt that way about this show far too long. Um, I enjoyed this episode. It was good all around. Um, Sunny. Sunny. This is one of those situations where you would sit there and think, your wife just caught you in bed with another woman. Let me try everything to just own up to my mistakes, to kind of realize what I did, and to have, I don't know, an ounce of dignity, decency, respect for her, and just own up to everything and just take it like a man. That is so not what Sonny did. And that's pretty much all I can sit there and say about it. He did the exact opposite of everything that I just said. He came out there. First of all, I know, well, I'm about to sit there and say, I know a lot of people don't like Nina. And I'm one of those people. But I'm going to be honest, I felt bad for both of them. And that's kind of a rarity. Like, at the same time, like, after Carly came in, first of all, Carly sees this whole thing, says, oh, by the way, I went to go and check on your son. He's fine, by the way. And then walks off. And then gets outside and starts breathing a little bit. And I'm sitting there thinking, I can't be the only person that felt like that was a little underwhelming. Like, I expected her to have a much bigger reaction. It's like she went there and saw it and got mad, like, I don't know, somebody like spilled a drink on her or something. It's like, ugh. And just like kind of walked out and then just like kind of stood there for a good minute. And then, they're both in bed. And, she's like, oh, I didn't, Nina's like, I didn't mean for, well, okay. I didn't feel bad for her at that point, as far as like, oh, I didn't mean it for this to happen. Oh, I'm sorry it just happened. It was like, no, you're not, because you jumped in bed with a married man. What part of what part of I'm sorry that this happened or anything like that? How does that work? I feel like I'm starting to actually regret me just saying I feel bad for Nina. But there was one point where he was like, I'm sorry this happened, and it's nice like, this was a mistake or whatever, and he kind of walks out. Nina is they're getting dressed, and he's like, I gotta sit there and make this right or whatever. And he just like walks off, and I mean, I feel like it's against my better judgment. I think at this point, everyone knows how much of a dick I've been to Nina. But just been like, hey, Nina, we both kind of did it together, and like, sorry that this happened or whatever, and then just kind of walk off or something. Don't just like, I don't know. It's something about that just bothered me. And I can't exactly say what it was. I don't know if it was the fact that he just seemed like he just kind of used her real quick and just kind of just walked off. But something about that just kind of unsettled me and made me feel slightly bad for Nina. I can't put it into words, but it's just something about that part. Anyway, he gets out there and he just screws whatever he was going out there and intending on doing to try to make the situation better. He just made it worse, and in a lot of ways, kind of showed his true colors. Because Carly's pissed off. She's like, "Yo, listen, at first Sonny was like, oh well, Christina said, so now you're gonna sit there and throw your daughter on the bus. This is what we're just saying, right? This is what we're just saying, right? Oh, well, what Christina said that you weren't coming, and I sat there thinking about that too. Like, Christina lied. She didn't sit there and say Carly couldn't show up. She said that I can't talk to you about this with you. Like, I don't want to talk about this situation with you. But and that's the thing. Regardless of if she couldn't show up tonight because, she's been asking you for something that you've been completely, totally ignoring. Oh, well, I figured since, you weren't going to show up tonight, then, you practically said that you wanted our marriage to be over. Couples therapy. Maybe you could have tried that route before you decide to just, you know, do what you did. And of course, the fun didn't stop there because then he threw Jason in her face, talking about, oh well, maybe you want this to happen, like your love for Jason and you love Jason and maybe you want this to happen or something like that. I was like, the fact that you are using Jason, a man for all intents and purposes, which I don't believe he died, but let everyone else sit there and thinks he's dead. He's dead. You're gonna sit there and throw his name into this. I guess owning up to what you did is just not an option at this point, right? Because you are throwing that in his face, in her face. Oh, this, that, and the third. So they argue back and forth. Carly's like, you know what? I'm gonna choose me since you can't choose because Carly was like, yeah, you may love me, but you also love Nina too, and that's the truth of the matter. And she's like, you know what? Listen, this is not gonna work. I am done. You pretty much kind of solidified that when you did what you did. So I'm gonna choose me. And yeah. And she walks off and Sonny is like, no, we can make this work. We can make this work. I, I'm at this point, I'm in disbelief. This whole thing that happened, while this whole thing is happening, I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, bro, this this doesn't even cover guy code anymore. This is I can't co-sign this. Like, and she walks off, and then he takes the rings and he kind of throws it overboard, and I'm just like, I guess that was supposed to be the signaling that his marriage is over. But I was like, bro, let's be honest, your marriage was probably over for a while. You're just now catching up to the fact that your marriage is officially over. You caught up to what everyone else was already aware of. So that's awesome. That's great. Oh, long story short, Mac wakes up. Um, Now they did have this flashback when Felicia walked in, and Felicia was sitting there talking to Mac, and I could not help but every time I looked at Mac, I kept sitting there thinking Michael Knight, David Hasselhoff, because that was the look that he had on this, like this whole look and hair and everything like that. I'm a kid of the '80s. Okay, I grew up with Michael Knight and Adrian Paul, and we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, he wakes up, so that's that's cool. Um, so yeah, Maxie tells everyone, tells Ned, tells Anna and Dante that Bailey's really Luis and all of it. Whole thing is out. So at first Ned is kind of shocked, and I was about to call him Justin. Ned is kind of shocked, and in the beginning he's like, well, he must be in shock because you keep getting names wrong. I mean, your baby's missing. But after talking to Brooklyn, you know, he was like, he was mad, he was hurt, but he was also proud. She faced it a hell of a lot of backlash, and she still did it because it was important. And I mean, listen, I don't like Brooklyn. I don't, but I give her credit where credit's due, and that was like he was proud of her, and so that was cool. Um, Drew came to see Sam, and he was just kind of wondering what they stood at as far as the relationship is concerned because he felt like they were kind of in limbo. And I'm just like, bro, this chick cheated on you the the day after y'all got married, and you still want to be with her because why? Like, did I miss something? She literally cheated on you the day after your marriage. Okay, you gave her an out. She said no. I want to be with you. And then not that long after, she goes and kisses Jason and decides, oh, well, then she leaves town after making a giant mess and then comes back and she's like, oh, I want to be with Jason. You want to go back to her because why again? The hell is wrong with you? But you know, she admits in front of Drew that she loves somebody who can technically be half her brother. So he says he's glad that he wants to be happy. Yada yada yada. Good guy speech, and he walks off. So yeah, she made a choice. You know, I'm wondering. Now, I didn't sit there and watch this episode because it was one of those what if stories, but this was one where Sonny was not there taking care of Margaret, which the actress is now playing a much better role and is being more useful than she was on this show. Um, they had this little scenario when Dante took over the mob. Sonny was a cop because jokes. And Sam was with Dante, and I felt like they kind of used that as a test. Sit there and see, oh, maybe we could sit there and have them together down the line or something like that. Unfortunately, I didn't actually watch that episode, and I'm kind of kicking myself for that because it did kind of seem interesting. I never like watching those what is storylines that has nothing to do with the main show, but I don't know. I figured maybe one day if I can never actually find that episode, I'll watch it. So, Peter Smith they're asking for safe passage for him and his daughter because he still has the key to controlling Drew because that's still what Victor wants, even if he has to sell out a child to do it. Um, so he says yes, fine. He does. He agrees. Of course, Victor's like, yo, listen. The minute that we get him, we just gonna put a bullet in him. We're just gonna be done with him. But Peter, of course, has a plan. Um, Kevin is with Charlotte, and Charlotte's like, I'm not leaving. I'm make sure that I talk to my dad. I'm old enough, and Esme is going to be here. I felt like she said Esme. Anyway, Esme is going to be here, so I'm good. Don't worry about me. I got the doorman. He's fine. Um, he's gonna make sure that no one passes through. Yeah, okay. So Kevin leaves to be with Mac and everyone else, and Peter comes over there and kidnaps Charlotte. So when Peter goes to the rendezvous and to I guess get a boat or whatever out of Port Charles, meets up with Victor, and of course Victor is like he double crosses him, has a couple of guns pointed to him, and Peter's like, listen, if I get so much as a damn paper cut, I'm taking out your granddaughter. I have a granddaughter, so that's actually important to you. You might want to let me go. Which, listen, I don't condone kidnapping children, but I got to sit there and at least think, like, Victor, did you not think that that could have been a possibility? That he wouldn't sit there and resort to kidnapping, resort to using children. I mean, hell, you practically sold out one to get a secret. You didn't think he was going to, resort to that? Peter with a plan. Or a plot armor, whatever works for people. I forgot if I mentioned this, but Laura's in this episode was brainstorming later on with Anna and Dante as far as Peter and that he may get help from Victor, which they're clearly already too late, because that's already gone sideways. And Carly, goes back to the Quartermains to, I guess, talk to Michael, but runs into Drew. Now, I don't want to sit there and say I'm going to call this because I'm pretty sure I'm not the first person that actually thought about this or people have probably read this down the line, but I'm pretty sure that Carly is going to end up with Drew, much to the displeasure of, well, damn near everyone. But at this point, they got to stick Drew with somebody. I don't think they're going to sit there and put Drew with Britt. Sam is not an option anymore. Um, yeah, there's not really a lot of options. And Carly, at this point, they need to put Carly with someone. So, yeah, they're probably going to sit there and want to put in Carly with Drew. And, yeah. And, Sonny's going to sit there and be all upset. Oh, you're going out with my wife or something like that. I was like, bro, you're my guy, but you need to just kind of, like, stop that. No, what the hell? I don't know what the hell he's gonna sit there and do with Nina, but eventually they're gonna sit there and want to be together. So yeah. Oh, in the end, it was in the episode, in this episode. So well, I feel like that's about it. Like I said, this episode was good. It's funny because when I read comments and stuff like that, talk to people sometimes at my job. Some customers that come in. You know, and one person's like, "Oh, I can't stand Peter. Peter's this. Peter needs to go." Yeah. I'm like, well, I felt the same thing about Nell, but people are like Nell because Nell stirred up trouble. Nell was a very one-dimensional character, but she stirred up trouble, and Peter's not there making this exciting. It's fun because a lot of people don't like Peter. Like, I don't like Jan Spears on days. And I'm so not looking forward to that storyline at all. But somebody was into saying that Jan Spears makes Bella and Sean more interesting because without her in it, they're just very boring and very dry. So I will sit there and give them credit where that is concerned. But with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Because YouTube lets me read comments now because reasons. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.